the Micah Parsons situation still has not found a resolution. And early in the process, it sounded like there was an assumption that eventually Jerry was going to bend the knee and give him the money, much like he's done with a lot of contract standoffs prior. Does it feel like maybe it's getting to a point where this one could end differently and maybe Parsons is not a Cowboy this season?
No, I don't think so. We're still we're not there to the regular season yet, and so I think that Jerry Jones, he loves the attention, he loves the drama, whether it's good or bad. That people are talking about them, and so I still think that he'll drag this thing out, and then just before it's time, he'll go ahead and get the deal done, like we've seen him do times before.
But doesn't that lose its cachet a little bit? Don't players look at that and say, okay, man, here we go. Jerry's going to do the same thing that he does every single time. He's going to play it up. It's going to get drawn out, and I got to deal with all the stress around it. Or has it just become like a known thing, like between the agents and the players? Let Jerry do his thing. We're going to get the number, and eventually it'll be good. Jerry just likes to get all the eyeballs on us. Like I don't know. It's so weird because supposed to be like a working cohesive unit, the same team. Yes, these contract negotiations happen, but it feels like it's Jerry's going to do his antics and you just got to put up with it, and then eventually you'll get paid.
Yeah, well, part of that, I think that's maybe part of the reason why Micah Parsons still came there during the OTAs when he could have skipped that, and he decided to come, because I think that he has to know, it's going to get done. Now, he's there during the hold-in to avoid the fines, and I know it is frustrating for players. We saw CeeDee Lamb, on Twitter talk about, kind of make a remark about it. But I still think that, there's part of them that feels like, yeah, you know what, it's frustrating, it's annoying, but it's going to get done.
Mike, really appreciate taking the time to join us today. Hopefully we can do it again soon.
All right, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Mike Jones, NFL senior writer from The Athletic. He joined us on the Maple Toyota hotline. Drive the built-in Canada. Fuel-efficient, fun to drive Toyota RAV4. Gas or hybrid models available. Visit mapletoyota.com. I don't know. I'm starting to lean towards this feeling a bit different. Like, at what point does Jerry have to look at himself in the mirror and say, you keep losing these contract stalemates to these players? At some point, don't you think that a man of that stature wants to win one of these?
Maybe Jerry doesn't see it as losing, though. Maybe it is winning for Jerry, because Jerry does this thing where it gets all the attention. And if we weren't talking about the Cowboys previously, well, you are now, because there's a big marquee player who doesn't have a contract, and it's, everyone's taking up the oxygen about it. And eventually he signs them to market value, which is basically what everyone gets these days. Like, does anyone get significantly above market value? I don't know. Like, I guess Deshaun Watson did. Sure, but that's not, that's not like that's not a reasonable barometer.
No.
Everyone gets basically, you
reset the market a
little bit. That's what everyone does.
But
that's eventually what Micah Parsons is going to do. And everyone will have talked about it. And Jerry will have everyone talking about Cowboys, and the team valuation's going to go up. And it's just, I don't know. It's another day in Jerryland.
I guess it just, I don't know, at some point, don't you feel like his pride eventually is going to get in the way, and everyone's talking about essentially how weak he is as a negotiator. As a businessman, I would think that he wouldn't like that.
Maybe, but I don't know. I think it's hard to know, man. He kind of just goes to the beat of his own drum,
Well, I think we have a clip here. Adam Schefter was on his podcast earlier today, and apparently these two parties have not had really a whole lot of communication. There have not been any advancement in contract talks. Here's what he had to say on the situation.
Deal done if you're not even talking. And the two sides haven't had any negotiations since late March or early April. And it sounds like at this point it's personal. It sounds like each side is dug in. The Cowboys have come out and said what they said publicly at the start of training camp, which Micah didn't like. Micah came out and asked to be traded, said he was ready to move on from Dallas, which I'm sure they didn't like. And right now, both sides seem to be angry. Now, have other people put those feelings aside in the past and figured out a way to work out a deal? Yeah. I don't see that happening here. I see these two sides headed towards a divorce in time. The only question is, when is that divorce going to happen and how is it going to happen? Are they going to trade him now? Are they going to trade him after this year? Are they going to move on when? But it certainly doesn't feel like these two sides want to enter a long-term relationship together. That's the way it feels today, and we'll see if they do anything to change that before the regular season begins in a couple of weeks.
So, I mean, like Adam Schefter believes that they're going toward a divorce. And I would say if you feel as though this is not a long-term partnership, if you're the Cowboys, you're better off. Like, you're way better off moving on from him now than you are a year from now. Like, you're better off making that plan, trading him, getting whatever draft picks you can for him, which a lot of teams will line up to take Micah Parsons off their hands and give him a hefty sum of money.
Every single other team would take that guy. That is a legitimate difference maker.
Yeah,
that
he's
wins you
a
games.
superstar pass rusher who can get to the quarterback. That's one of the most important things to do when you're playing football. If you can get to the quarterback, take him down, sack him, put pressure,
who does
force
it
him
better
into
than
turnovers. Not a lot of guys,
there's
man.
There's a very, very short list of guys, and it would be debatable at best who does it consistently.
TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons. Like it's a 3-man list, and it really is a massive drop off after that, I would think, when it comes to rushing the passer. So I don't know. It's got a bit of a different smell to it. It does seem like there is maybe it's no longer amicable. Well, in Dallas.
Here's what I would say about Schefter's video, like his quote. When he's talking about it, and he talks about it in a way that makes it seem like it's doom and gloom and it's not happening, that's everywhere. And everyone's talking about it, and that's exactly what Jerry Jones wants. If it's like, yeah, you know what, they're working, that just kind of gets slid in. But this is exactly what the game plan is for Jerry Jones. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's diabolical.
Well, I wonder,
makes no sense. So why not just pay the guy his money and move away from this whole charade? But he kind of, I don't know if it amuses him or something, but this is the way it kind of goes down. Like Schefter talking in his hotel room saying that, yeah, they're, it's going to get done. That doesn't move the needle for a guy like Jerry Jones.
Right.
That moves the needle, though, because that's everywhere today.
You're not wrong. This could be just a maniacal plan for Jerry, for everyone to keep talking about the Cowboys, because we've been talking about this since camp started a month ago.
Sure.
It's just been ongoing all offseason.